thanks for joining me. Today I just wanted to continue the conversation that we started last year in regards to transforming your company from its current transactional model to more of a true IT consultant, which I think we agreed last year is the movement that you want to get towards, and have already taken some significant steps towards achieving. I'm going to take you through a brief presentation, and what that's going to do is give you a perspective on how your world's changing and some of the steps that we need to do to take you to that level, and really just position you for success. So Kodak, Blockbuster, and Borders, what do these companies have in common? Well, they're out of business. But why? I mean, these are a recognized leader in their respective communities. But they became victims of a massive shift in how consumers were using their products. Think about it. Kodak, you go on vacation, you come back, you have a bag full of your cameras, you bring them to CVS, you have them a week later, you have your pictures. Now it's instant gratification. You take those pictures on your digital camera and you bring them home and you put them in the printer, it's done. Blockbuster. Friday night you go get your pizza, you wait online, you figure out which movie you want, you hope that the one there that your kids want, you bring it home, you keep it for 8 days, you pay more in the late fees than you paid for the actual movie. But now you have Netflix. When somebody says to me, what's the cloud? I say, you know what the cloud is? The cloud is Netflix. To me, the cloud is Netflix because you don't have 10,000 movies on your TV, but you can go up to the cloud and pull them down. And Borders. We all travel. How many times have you taken 6 books with you when you went away for 2 weeks? Now you have a Kindle. You don't need to do that anymore. Everything's right at your fingertips. So we changed. The market changed, but each one of these companies failed to adapt their business model and became basically irrelevant and obsolete. What's happening now is that a very similar dynamic is going on in the VAR industry. So let's take a look at how the consumption models for business technologies is changing and the impact the shifts are having on VARs like you. So in the past, your value equation was that you sold equipment. You sold servers, routers, and software to your clients in an on-premise basis in a very linear transactional mode. Your typical customer was with the CIO, and you had a universe of clients that you sold to. But that's starting to shrink. That's starting to change. In fact, Gartner has said that 97% of server sales will dwindle, go away. And what's interesting, if anybody knows, last week Cisco made an announcement that they're starting to move into the cloud. So if the 800-pound gorilla that was typically a premise-based equipment vendor is starting to move, you know that it's time we have to move as well. Now, why is some of these changes going on? Competition. Your competitors have realized that you are now going into a situation where they need to change as well. They're going to now start to sell IT services and consulting services and things like that. In fact, 10% of them have already made significant investments in doing that. And what that's done is that's helped increase their margins by 44%. What are some of the other changes that are going on that are affecting your business? Well, that's one thing, is that all of that is starting to present a very real and present danger to your existing base. But it also presents a unique opportunity, a tremendous opportunity, if we do it right. So some of the other things that are going on, your old buyer, your CIO, he's starting to be depositioned. He's getting less and less involved in these conversations and in these business decisions. And why do you think that is? Because the industry and technology is rapidly changing. More and more workloads are being deployed to the cloud. Virtualization of servers and virtualization of security, going from premise-based to the cloud. Another thing, who's making these decisions now? The CFO and the CMO, people you might not be positioned with. People that now are getting more involved in these decisions that hadn't been in this line of business before. So what does that do? That's starting to create, again, a situation where you're being depositioned. You may not have a relationship, and it's jeopardizing the relationships that you currently have. And as a result, what does that do? So the overall dynamics are changing, and they're shrinking your markets and your opportunities. And what's it do? It creates fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So to address these market changes and avoid becoming irrelevant and obsolete, you have to have a new approach. You got to get ahead of the curve, and you have to reinvent your value in the value equation. And how do you do that? You do that through expertise, and you do that through a comprehensive suite of services. Expertise, you guys are ahead of the curve. As we discussed, you've made significant investments in hiring next-gen type of sales engineers and salespeople that are now coming up to speed and positioning you to have these types of conversations with your clients. And the suite of services, again, we have cloud, we have security, and we have the service. Now, what's happening is that CenturyLink has spent the last 10 years putting together companies and services that'll position you for the comprehensive suite of services. What we've done, we went out and we purchased Savvis and integrated that into our systems. We purchased recently Tier 3, which has led us to become one of Gartner's Magic Quadrant market leaders, a recognized leader. So now what we have is a comprehensive, like I said, suite of services. We have cloud, we have co-location, we have IT outsourcing, we have a number of different things that can position you. So by working with CenturyLink, you have the critical support and comprehensive solution that you need to increase your market and capitalize on previous untapped revenue streams, such as cloud. Networking, very important. Networking is what differentiates CenturyLink from many other vendors, many other vendors, in the sense that we own our assets. We have thousands of lit buildings. We have network across the country as well as international, and we own our own data centers. So this gives us the ability to be flexible and creative when we come up with solutions for you. Now, what does that do? By working with us and taking advantage of all the things that we've put together, that'll give you the opportunity to play in a $4.1 trillion marketplace that's been growing by $80 billion year over year. Now, does that sound like something you'd be interested in pursuing? Thank you.